The protection of children is a primary concern for the diocese.
The Jefferson City Diocese suspends a priest accused of having pornography on his computer. Caucus week in the Show Me State. Experts break down Missouri's delegates.
Controversy in Callaway County. The public speaks out about issues at the nuclear plant. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
The Jefferson City Catholic Diocese announced its decision today regarding a priest accusing of having pornography on his computer. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reed.
And I'm Nancy Bailey. Thanks for joining us. KOMU 8's Emily Allen just got out of the announcement and joins us live with the decision. Emily?
The Jefferson City Diocese Review Board has recommended that Father Doyle be suspended indefinitely from public service here in Jefferson City after reviewing an investigation done by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Bishop Gatos has accepted that recommendation, so that means that Doyle will no longer be able to participate in public ministry here in Jeff City or anywhere else for that matter. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office has decided not to prosecute Doyle. Deacon Joyce spoke on behalf of the diocese today. He said the specifics of the pornographic images on Doyle's computer aren't going to be released, but he said the review board determined that they were in violation of the charter that protects young people and children.
The protection of children is a primary concern for the diocese. Bishop Gatos is committed to ensure that the church is a safe and healthy place for all children.
This investigation started back in November when a computer technician at Helias High School discovered pornographic images on Father Doyle's computer. Reporting live in Columbia, Emily Allen, KOMU 8 News.
It is a windy day. Emily, thank you very much. Though Republicans will caucus this weekend to send delegates to their congressional conventions, many Missourians might not be paying attention to the complex political procedure. KOMU 8's Megan Malaris explains that procedure and why the Republican candidates are vying for Missouri's support.
We did it again.
After big wins in the South Tuesday night, GOP candidate Rick Santorum rolls back to Missouri, a state he won by a 25% margin in the state's February primary. But
the primary is entirely a beauty contest primary. It didn't select any delegates.
So the caucus matters to the GOP candidates. But maybe not so much to Missouri residents.
It's March Madness, right? A lot of people are going to be home watching basketball.
I have better things to do with my time.
Registered voters who do care will pick a specified number of unpledged delegates this weekend to go to the congressional district conventions on April 21st. Delegates there will choose 3 per district, a total of 24 to go directly to the national convention in August. They also will pick delegates to go to the state convention on June 2nd, where party members will pick an additional 25 delegates for the national convention. So to break it down, the 24 delegates chosen at the district level, plus the 25 delegates chosen at the state level, plus 3 ex officio superdelegates will make up Missouri's 52 total delegates. Whom these delegates eventually will support is still anyone's guess. Megan Malaris, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
Most Mid-Missouri caucuses will be held Saturday morning. For the details, you can go to our website, KOMU.com.
Well, good evening, and what a very hot Wednesday we experienced here across the middle part of the nation. Now, we did reach a high of 85 degrees here in central Missouri, breaking a record of 82 set back in 1971. And you can see here at the 6 o'clock hour, those temperatures still holding on to the upper 70s and lower 80s. Now, that is going to drop down to 60 degrees for an overnight low, and we will bring in some clouds and a chance for some precipitation for those of you in the southern part of the state. I'll have further details coming up in my full forecast.
Well, it's the public's last chance to share its thoughts on the Callaway nuclear plant before the license renewal. KOMU 8's Kylie McGivern spent the day hearing from supporters and opponents of that plan and has more on what this feedback means for the county in this live report. Kylie?
Angie, I'm standing outside Fulton City Hall where the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission is meeting with the public as we speak before their meeting tonight. Now, I attended the meeting this afternoon where public members are invited to come and talk about the Callaway nuclear plant. Now, as we said, that's been an issue in the past in terms of its safety. And they were stressing at this afternoon's meeting that the public involvement is crucial as we take steps toward the renewal plan, an additional 20 years for the plant. They want to know what is unique about Callaway County, what local environment issues should be examined and what reasonable alternatives are appropriate for this area. And now comments from today's meeting included some for and against that additional 20 years on top of a 40-year contract with Ameren for the nuclear plant. Now, again, if you want to comment anymore, there is a meeting tonight from 7 to 9 o'clock, or you can log on to KOMU.com and find a link for your information about what you think the future of this plant should be. Reporting live in Fulton, Kylie McGivern, KOMU 8 News.
Kylie, thank you very much. Columbia police arrested 7 people and uncovered about 30 pounds of marijuana. Police also found packaging materials, scales, cash, and a firearm. Police arrested these 7 people for distribution, delivery, manufacture, and production of a controlled substance. A home search on North Providence led to Eric Berry and Michael Neubauer's arrest. Police arrested Zachary Hare at a house on 7th Street. Evelyn Duncan was arrested during a search on Stone Street. Police arrested David Sobelman, John Renfro, and Soam Lum during traffic stops. A man wanted for murder was found Tuesday evening in Columbia. Nathan Whitney is a murder suspect from Pittsburgh, Kansas. An officer spotted Whitney about 6 o'clock at Douglas Park. He was taken into custody. Whitney is one of 4 men charged in connection with a deadly shooting from last October.
A building in Ashland is destroyed after crews put out a fire in southern Boone County. That fire started in the middle of a field located off 63 just after 9 last night. The southern Boone County fire chief said the location of the fire made it hard to get to. Crews on the scene let the building burn because they did have difficulty getting the supplies to the building. The southern Boone County Fire Protection District said its main goal was to prevent that fire from spreading into the woods. And authorities said today a St. Louis high school valedictorian and homecoming queen died of strangulation. Police first found the body of 18-year-old Sarah Billingsley Walker Monday. Walker went to Vashon High School, where she was on the dance team and a member of the National Honor Society. Authorities say they do have a person of interest in custody.
The morning commute was pretty hectic for Missouri drivers on Highway 61 in Lincoln County, north of St. Charles. A truck overturned about 5 o'clock this morning. It was hauling 8,000 gallons of alcohol. The highway was closed for several hours before being reopened.
The White House energy official hit the town today to look at how Columbia's been working to go green. KOMU 8's Andrew Weil found out the focus of attention was on the city's landfill.
Nancy Sutley, President Obama's chief environmental advisor, met with Columbia officials to discuss the city's renewable energy efforts.
It's impressive to see the kind of focus and dedication of the city.
Columbia's mayor says Sutley's visit about the city's energy efforts affects all Missourians.
Again, when you turn the light switch on, you want it to work, number one. And number two, when you get your light bill at the end of the month, you want to make sure it's not something that is draining your bank account.
After the meeting, Sutley toured the city's landfill gas energy plant. It burns methane gas from the landfill and produces enough energy each day to power 1,500 homes.
Landfill has to manage all this gas. It's not going to go away. If they don't have this plant, they're going to have to deal with it, and this is a much better way. And it does a lot of things that I think we need to do, which is use our resources more efficiently.
Efficiency that Sutley says makes what Columbia is doing the future of renewable energy. Andrew Weil, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
The city says within 5 to 10 years, the landfill's gas energy plant is expected to supply 2.5% of Columbia's electric needs.
Jefferson City took one step towards making city property easier to access today. The city is looking for feedback on a project to make Jefferson City comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. One problem, no one showed up. Despite the lack of input, the city went forward with the reassessment.
The point of this whole process is to look at the old plan and update it to say we fixed some areas, we still need improvement in other areas.
The project is designed to make public places like parks, pools, and doorways easier to access. The city expects the project to be finalized in 2 months.
The University of Missouri hosted its inaugural Christopher S. Kitbond lecture today. That lecture focused on how the U.S. can achieve worldwide food security with a panel of speakers. Dino Dalal, ambassador to the United States for Indonesia, was one of the featured panelists. He stressed the importance of safe food in the U.S. and around the world.
Food security was selected for this first lecture because of Senator Bond's long-term interest in feeding the hungry around the world, and also because this is such an important topic in all the developing world.
Missouri Chancellor Brady Deaton was appointed by President Barack Obama in 2011 to lead the Board of International Food and Agricultural Development.
The warm weather isn't washing away a serious risk for Missouri. We'll explain coming up.
And we're going to keep the heat around for the next few days, but bring in a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I'll tell you when and where coming up in my full forecast after the break.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather.
Well, welcome back. Time is 6:12 on your Wednesday. Halfway through the week and halfway through what's been a very warm week. As we take a look over the Lake of the Ozarks, you can see a lot of the cloud cover we saw this afternoon has pushed out of the area, and we've experienced plenty of sunshine, which really helped to warm us up. Now, how warm did we get? As we take a look back indoors, you can see we reached a high of 85 degrees here in the middle of March. 30 degrees above our average and breaking a record of 82 degrees set back in 1971. Even our low degree of 59 degrees was warmer than where we usually are this time of year. So extremely warm temperatures are going to continue as well into the next few days. Right now in Columbia, we are at 81 degrees, so just slightly cooler than that 85 we experienced right at the 4 o'clock hour. You can see we do have winds coming out of the south-southwest, gusting up to about 25 miles per hour, bringing in plenty of warm, moist air from the Gulf. And you can see we do have humidity right at 47%, where it has been throughout the day. Other temperatures across the area are still holding on to those upper 70s, lower 80s, 81 in Mexico, 83 warm spot in Jefferson City, and farther out to our east you can see 80 right now in Paris. Well, again, a big factor for today was the winds, and I'm sure if you were outside you felt them, as you can see coming out of the south-southwest, gusting around 25 miles per hour this afternoon, and you can see these red colors indicating the stronger winds. So definitely a major factor in helping to warm us up here in central Missouri and majority of the Midwest as well. Well, there is a strong low pressure system well up to the north in Canada, and this cold front right here may bring in the chance for some showers across the area over the next few days. There also is another low pressure system well out to our west, which has occluded, which pretty much just means the cold air is catching up to the warm air. So that's well out to our west. But here in central Missouri, you can see a few clouds have started to pick up across the area, and we have seen those clear up again through the afternoon hours rather, and you can see a little bit of rain has picked up just around the Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri border, and that's kind of going to be the trend as we make our way through the overnight hours. We're going to see, as precip comes up here, we're going to see those showers popping up just to the south. Here at the 12 o'clock hour around midnight, we are going to see some light showers popping up just in the northwest part of the state around Kirksville. And as we make our way to just about the 8 a.m. hour, just about commuting hour, you can see some clouds stretched across the state and notice precipitation picking up just around Cape Girardeau and other parts of the southeast corner of the state. Throughout the afternoon, though, you're going to see those scattered showers really pick up across the state, so expect that for your afternoon. Spotty hit-and-miss showers, but a good idea to make sure you grab the umbrella. Now, temperatures are going to be very similar to where we saw today. Slightly cooler, but our high for tomorrow, our record high rather, was 79 degrees, so may see a double repeat of record-breaking temperatures, and you can see well across the state. St. Louis and Kansas City both expecting 78 degrees. Now, for tonight, again, we will be very mild. We'll see temperatures drop just to 60 degrees. Breezy conditions as we'll see those winds continue out of the southwest, and a chance for thunderstorms for those of you in the southern part of the state tonight. But for tomorrow, we will see very spotty showers throughout the afternoon as we top out at 80 degrees for your Thursday. Now, Friday looks very similar with chance of showers in the afternoon and temperatures right at the 80-degree mark, and we're going to stay warm for our weekend with a chance for showers on Saturday. But as we take a look at that 8-day forecast, you're going to see temperatures really don't budge. They're going to stay in the upper 70s, slightly cooler Wednesday into Thursday into the mid-60s, but still staying well above average. Now here it's time for the first alert weather IQ question of the day. Springs flow faster when a storm approaches.
I don't know. That's a weird one.
Ask that
unless it was true.
So
that's what we always say. We'll say true.
Well, the answer is true.
I wonder why that is.
The better question is why.
Exactly. That's
I can't tell you the answer to that question.
All right.
But
thanks a lot.
It may not feel dry and wintry out there,
but it certainly is still a risk if you're trying to burn anything. We'll talk more about that after the break. Well, the warm weather may fool us into thinking that it is already spring.
Which doesn't arrive until next week. But as KOMU8's Iris Jong tells us, the fire threat is still at the winter level.
Spring may still be a week away, but these impatient blossoms tell a different story, and even the moisture in the air seems to indicate the end of the dry winter season.
In the last couple of weeks we've had several incidents of rainfall. That rain has accumulated in the ground, and that helps to make the humidity levels a little better than they were, even as much as a month ago.
This, however, does not make open burning any less dangerous.
Even though we've had some rains, even though the ground is wet, the stuff laying on top, the grasses are dead and dormant, and so there's no uptake of moisture in those plants.
Temperatures right now is 64 degrees, and I can tell the grass is still pretty wet. But with the temperature climbing to 80 degrees in the afternoon, the sun will quickly dry them, and the breezy weather will make open burning even more dangerous.
So for those who live in the country, it's always better to burn during morning hours when winds are calmer and humidity is high. Fire departments also suggest making barriers around the burns and having water sources nearby. And it's not until spring rains come that firefighters can truly get over this March madness. Iris Strong, KOMU News, Columbia.
The Boone County Fire Protection District says it has already responded to 60 natural cover fires since February 1st.
Well, the Missouri Tigers are headed to Omaha for the first round of NCAA play.
And today, the Tigers were sent off by loyal fans.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hello, everyone. The Missouri Tigers left today for Omaha, Nebraska, site of their NCAA tournament game Friday afternoon against Norfolk State. Tiger fans gathered at Mizzou Arena to send the team on its way. Before boarding the bus, Coach Frank Haith addressed the crowd.
Well, we're excited about the opportunity. Obviously, it's been a great ride, and but it's not over yet. And this team has been pretty resilient all year long, and they've worked their tails off. They deserve to have some great things happen for them.
We'll see if good things keep happening for them this week. Meanwhile, Mizzou quarterback James Franklin will miss some spring football practice time because of a shoulder injury. Franklin suffered a sprained right shoulder when attempting to recover a fumble in Tuesday's Tiger practice. He is expected to be ready to play in Missouri's Black and Gold game April 14th on Faurot Field. The Columbia College men's basketball team will play Montana State Northern tonight in the NAIA National Tournament in Kansas City. The Lady Cougars play their first-round national tourney game against Langston University of Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon in Frankfort, Kentucky. Earlier today, the William Woods women lost their first-round tournament game to Shawnee State of Ohio 68-47. The Owls end their season with a 23-10 record. The Hallsville High girls basketball team had made only one state playoff appearance before last year. KOMU 8's Christine Karsten shows us how this Hallsville team is making history.
The Hallsville girls basketball team is in the Final Four for the second straight season. But what most don't know is the senior class set a record.
It's 10 to 15 wins more than any other group we've ever had in a 4-year period.
But their secret is familiarity.
We have been playing together for a really long time.
Yeah, like we know what each other's going. Like we can just read each other. We know what's going to happen next. It's pretty cool.
But this winning record didn't come easy. The team had to replace its 2 leaders from last year.
We're not as strong shooters as we were last year. Like from the outside, Carson Ford was a big player and Taylor was a big player from the outside.
I would say the inside play is what really has helped us.
But their real reward came from their coach.
The Principia game, coach walked into the locker room and he was really quiet and his face was like emotionless, and then he just yelled, "You earned it." And they got really emotional for the seniors. Because to get like credit from Coach Blakemore, like you have to earn that. So it was awesome.
You know, we talk about leaving your mark. You know, what's going to be your legacy? When you're gone, how are people going to remember you? And I think this group is pretty good at that. They've left a mark that's going to be hard to pass.
Christine Karsten, KOMU 8 Sports, Hallsville.
Christine, thanks. Hallsville plays Stockton tomorrow in the Class 3 semifinals at the Hearn Center. That is sports.
Welcome back. Here's another look at my 8-day extended forecast. We'll see some spotty showers to finish out the work week, but temperatures will stay well above average into the upper 70s, some lower 80s for the next 8 days.
Two Rockbridge High School students are headed for a national debate competition. Syed Ijaz and Rick Flynn found out in a St. Louis qualifying debate. They will represent the Eastern Missouri District at the National Forensic League's Public Debate Forum. The duo makes the 5th Rockbridge debate team to go to nationals. Good for them. Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10 tonight. Are you living in a bad area? A group is meeting tonight to talk about certain neighborhoods in Columbia.
And former Cardinal manager Tony La Russa in Columbia. You want to tell us what that's all about, Chris?
Speaking about leadership, something I suppose he knows a little bit about with his baseball
I'd say
teams.
so.
Good night, folks.